Hi, welcome to Finding the Word. I am Melanie Brown. And this weekend went way too fast. And I know why, because we had to do Saturday benefits fair. And so that really only left one day to try to rest and relax. And I even had things I had to deal with today, so that didn't happen. So I'm hoping to catch up on my rest at some point during this week, hopefully. But if not, I just have to pray for strength to get on through till the next, and then it will be a 2-day weekend. It really needs to be a 2-day weekend, or it doesn't even feel like one at all. But the word is top, and I'm enjoying being in totally different places now, in and out of these facilities, in and out of these schools. Everything around me gives me the word. So I'm just like, as I meet with people, I'm coming and going, the circumstances, the environment, the words are spinning around and I catch them in different situations. I'm really enjoying this. It's a little different, because of what's going on right now. So this is nice. So the word is top, and it came Friday from an environment that I was in. This was a school where everyone was so thoughtful, so considerate of each other. Now, some of these places I go, sadly, that is not the situation. So people have appointments they make, and when they come for their appointment, there's times where the person before them maybe took a little extra long. They had different things that made it to where they ran over, and not everybody is where they are like, oh, that's fine. You would like them to be accommodating, but a lot of times it's like, oh, okay, my appointment was at such and such time. Are you going to be much longer? And this kind of thing. And then it can lead to a little friction. And then people can be like, I expect to have, hopefully I'll be able to get my stuff done. I expect to have a little extra time if I need it. And it can be a little snarky and stuff. So you're kind of kind of calming people down. You spend time kind of, it's okay. I will make sure that I see you and that you have your time. And well, this particular place was not like this. At a point, I was kind of going back and forth watching these people. One would say, you know what? Are you running behind? Because you can take my time. Oh, no, you go. Well, no, it's fine because I can come back. Well, no, really, you can sit. This is how they were doing. And I'm like, what? And so it was very refreshing, very nice, but people were so humble, so kind, so patient and things. So I was really just... They even gave us nachos at lunch. They included us. They came down and said, would y'all like to have some nachos too? So it was like, well, thanks. It was just thoughtful. They were just giving. So we enjoyed it thoroughly there. And so when I met with one of the particular women, this was her third time trying to get her appointment. She kept having to give it to people who were needing it and things. And so finally it was her turn. And she had said, the principal told me to come in here and see you. She said you were wonderful. And so I'm looking forward to our appointment. And so I said, the principal? Did I say the principal? Now, I don't ask them what the positions are. Sometimes they say, but most of the time they don't. I'm dealing with your benefits. So my concern is just what is in your package, what questions you have, how to give you the best you can get, and all of that. So I didn't realize. I said, well, when did I see the principal? She said she was just here, the one that was right before me. And I said, I did not know. I was just like, I just didn't, sorry. So she said, oh, well, you can't hardly tell, can you? Isn't she amazing? And so humble. And she's just kind. We love her. She is the greatest. And so I said, she really was. I had enjoyed her so. We had a wonderful appointment. I want to say she gave me a hug when we were done. It was just a great time. Well, I thought about it, and you could probably tell where I'm going with this one. The way that everyone interacted with each other, their humility, their kindness, their thoughtfulness, it came from the top. It was trickling down from where they were looking, from the leadership. And that just really led me to think about how we are portraying ourselves, what type of leaders we are in whatever way that we are in leadership. It could be in the home, it could be in a job, at a church, or anywhere. But we are leading in some way, whether even your family. And you have to then think about those leadership roles. It led me into realizing that from the top comes what's trickling down, and then what you're putting out is what you then see in the atmosphere. And in some of these, it was ugly. It was ugly. It was self-centered. It was snarky. I didn't always meet the principal. I didn't always meet the leadership teams there, but some of these places were fairly miserable and seeming as though people didn't really want to be there. And it made you pause to kind of question, I wonder what the leadership's going on here. I believe this is probably a reflection. But the word top took me to Matthew 27. It is regarding Christ's death on the cross. Matthew 27:45 is where it starts. Matthew 27:51 is the scripture with top in it. Now from the 6th hour until the 9th hour, there was darkness over all the land. And about the 9th hour, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. And hopefully I said that right. That is, my God, why have you forsaken me? Some of those who stood there when they heard that said, this man's calling for Elijah. Immediately one of them ran, took a sponge, filled it with sour wine, put it on a reed and offered it to him to drink. The rest said, let him alone. Let us see if Elijah will come to save him. And Jesus cried out again with a loud voice and yielded up his spirit. Then 51. Then behold, the veil of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom, and the earth quaked, and the rocks were split, and the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised. And coming out of the graves after his resurrection, they went into the holy city and appeared to many. So when the centurion and those with him who were guarding Jesus saw the earthquake and the things that had happened, they feared greatly, saying, truly this was the Son of God. Woo, that's a great passage to go back and read. We should always be reminded of what Christ did for us on the cross. That veil was torn. That led to no more separation. So that is so powerful. We go straight to the throne. This is something we need to be praising for and definitely thankful for. Now, I don't remember the rest of these scriptures. And I find from time to time, I'll, be reading these and going through the word, and I'm like, I know I've read this story, but why don't I remember this part? I don't really remember reading about the graves opening up and bodies of saints and things walking and coming out and appearing and stuff. I don't remember that for whatever reason. And maybe I did read it. I'm sure I probably have read it. But anyways, it was a surprise to me reading this now. And I was just thinking, wow, that would have been a sight. When people are seeing people like, did I see, like if they see a ghost, in your face? And that's definitely would have been like what was happening there with seeing those appearing who have been asleep. But it's also really exciting to think about the conquering of death and death being no more, and just how they had to wake up from their sleep and slumber. That is just powerful and exciting and beautiful, and a great remembrance of that occurrence. We forget from time to time. And just like I always say, it's kind of like, this is it. We just don't think about outside of here a lot because this is life we live day to day. But we do have to always remember that there is a whole other realm and world that we're not seeing. And this is not permanent. This is temporary. It's something to always be considering. And when I see this and think about this scene and the saints and all of that, definitely is a reminder. So with top, the final thought really is, what leadership role are you in? Are you a parent leading out in your home with your children? Are you in a workplace where you have leadership or a team? Are you a leader in any capacity in your church or any other social groups or things where people look to you? And even sometimes you're in a leadership role with a group of friends where they all look to you in that group for how to do things and conduct things, and you just are born and a natural leader. Well, the things going on around us and those that are down, that trickles down from us becomes very apparent on how we are dealing and doing things and what character traits we're passing on in our behaviors to others. So the way that you choose to conduct yourself, the way that you choose to respond, and how you are coming off with others is trickling down. It is affecting the way other people choose to conduct themselves and to do things. If you don't like what you're seeing, just evaluate. It doesn't always mean that it's exactly, due to what you're doing. Not saying I'm putting the blame for any issues on the person that is leading, but meaning just if you have been in leadership and you're not seeing changes taking place and what you do see isn't something that you prefer, then you do have to evaluate what the examples are. And or maybe just step up and make sure that you're setting them or having opportunities for it to at least be sure that it's being seen and reflected by you, the things that you are wanting to see in others. We need to make sure that we realize that whatever example we're setting that's coming from the top in our leadership role, it's going to trickle down. It's going to become apparent to all who are coming into that atmosphere, all who are involved and having to take part. You know what is coming from the top and what tone is being set for the atmosphere that's going on there. I certainly saw that in the place that we were working, and it was such a positive and a beautiful result that I saw in the culture that they had there. And it was a blessing to anyone who enters that school. And people love being there. And they were clear on that in the way that they spoke highly of their leader. Don't forget to find the word, and I will see you tomorrow.